I'm Patrick, and I'm a birder from Ohio, and I'm heading to the Central American country of Belize to do some birding. Just how many birds will I see spending time in just one area of Belize? How many birds will I capture on camera in just a 6-night stay? Will birding in May be just as rewarding as other months? Will birding on my own or birding with local guides produce better results? Will I see the target birds I'm hoping to see? Come along as we experience the adventure of birding in Belize. Belize is a rather small Central American country. It is only 1/5 the size of the state of Ohio, which is where I'm from. But the amount of bird species is upwards of 620, making it a country with a high density of bird species in a relatively small land area, which basically boils down to great birding. Many people choose booking a birding tour, which has many great advantages. But the pace of an intense birding itinerary can be rather exhausting, and I prefer a more relaxed and balanced approach when spending my vacation time birding. Seeing new species, especially in a different country, and filming what I find helps me to unwind from the stress of life. The natural world around us is truly wonderful. So what could be better than having a birding adventure at my own pace and be in vacation mode as well? Sounds relaxing already, doesn't it? All this guides the choices for me of where to stay and what to do to maximize my experience. There are so many wonderful spots to bird in Belize: Crooked Tree, Lamini, Black Rock Lodge, Coxholm Basin Wildlife Sanctuary, Pine Ridge Lodge, Caves Branch. I just knew I wanted a jungle feel, with a drive that wasn't too far from the airport. I wanted a place to eat great food, relax by a pool, have some on-site activities, and most importantly, a large enough area to do some birding on my own. Another factor in my decision is that I just may not be traveling with someone who has quite the same level of bird enthusiasm as I do, and may not want to wake up at 4:30 every morning to go birding. I ultimately settled on the Rainforest Lodge at Sleeping Giant on the Sibun River. It's a large 600-acre boutique hotel with a couple of restaurants, a citrus orchard, complimentary kayaking and biking, horseback riding, as well as many trails to explore on the property. It borders the 81,000-acre Sibun River Forest Reserve and has a great view of the Sleeping Giant, a spectacular limestone mountain formation in the Maya Mountains of central Belize. Another important aspect were the amount of eBird lists I saw being posted regularly, as well as lists from nearby areas. After 2 flights and an hour-and-a-half drive from the airport, we arrived at the lodge around 1:45 in the afternoon. Our room was not ready, so we headed out to explore the property and do a little birding. Before coming to Belize, I had made a list of some birds I was hoping to see based on the area we would be staying, plus a few long-shot birds. Having been to Mexico many times and Costa Rica, there would definitely be some overlap of species. So my targets would be new birds I could add to my life list, a list that I still actually need to compile. My list of birds I was hoping to see included a dozen species from easiest to most difficult. They included the red-legged honeycreeper, agami heron, black and white hawk, yellow-winged tanager, bat falcon, great or little tinamou, gartered violaceous trogon, green jay, orange-billed sparrow, spectacled owl, white-collared manakin, and my number one target was the northern emerald toucanet. My long shots were the orange-breasted falcon, if we ended up taking a tour to Tikal, and a jabiru stork. With some time to kill, I grabbed my camera and started birding. The first bird I spotted was a rufous-tailed hummingbird, a common species that I would see countless times. We then made our way down to the river to see what we could find just sitting in one spot. First up, a neotropic cormorant and a kingfisher. Across the river, there was a great kiskadee. Hiding in the grass, I spotted a great egret. There was a pale-vented pigeon on the riverbank. And then a pair of bat falcons, one of my target birds. I then spotted my first muscovy duck. In Belize, there are both wild and domestic versions of this duck, and since the property keeps domestic ducks, I was never quite sure if any of them were the wild ones, though a couple I saw during the week seemed to fit the description. Here is an extremely common great-tailed grackle, and my first sighting of collared arasaris on the trip. This little blue heron was searching for fish in the river. And a melodious blackbird that landed right next to us. We then continued to walk the property, where I spotted this southern house wren, a female blue-black grosbeak, and this beautiful shot of bronzed cowbirds. There were birds pretty much everywhere when I spotted this masked tatira, and then I got my first not-so-great look at one of my target birds, a red-legged honeycreeper. The next bird I saw was also on my target list, a yellow-winged tanager. Wow, 3 target birds already. I then spotted a tropical kingbird, this pale-billed woodpecker, a pair of black phoebes by the creek, and finally, a sulfur-bellied flycatcher, another lifer. Wow, 21 species, of which 11 were lifers, even before checking into the room. It sure looks like this is going to be a fabulous week in Belize. We then headed to our room, and what a view it was. It felt like a jungle paradise. Then, just as darkness was about to fall, a chorus of cicadas started their nightly calls. It was both alarmingly loud and yet strangely soothing. We then headed to a special Cinco de Mayo dinner with some homemade tortillas and ceviches that were absolutely wonderful. Since I've returned from Belize, people ask me, how was your trip? Honestly, it's hard to find the words, but I do know that one of my favorite things about Belize was sitting on the balcony in the early morning and just listening to the sounds of nature. The sounds of insects and birds, and even distant howler monkeys. Those peaceful moments are hard to describe. I would enjoy my coffee, waiting for the sun to come up, and study the birds in the area to help me with identification. As the light continued to fill the sky, I would head out to see if I could find some different species. I would bird in the mornings, I would bird even during breakfast, biking to the horse farm, sitting by the pool. Pretty much, I was always keeping my eye out for new birds. I would bird the property by walking along the access road, checking by the river, walking by the orchards, and taking trails that ran along the edge of the hills by the creek. We had enough cell phone service to use Merlin most of the time, which was helpful to narrow down what we might be seeing. Some things were very obvious and others were quite difficult to identify. And some of the things I saw and got on camera will remain a mystery because there just wasn't enough identifiers to get a positive ID. So hopefully I don't make too many mistakes. One of the things I do on this channel is only the birds that I get on camera go into my total. On Sunday, for example, we actually saw 6 scarlet macaws fly over, but I couldn't get them on camera. I wasn't even expecting to see that bird, so it was quite a surprise, but maybe I would get another opportunity as the week progressed. Anyway, let's see what birds I can find on Monday, birding the Rainforest Lodge at Sleeping Giant.
So pretty much every time I go out, I see some new birds walking around Sleeping Giant, Rainforest Lodge. I just saw I think it's one of the tinamoos maybe, or a rail. I'll have to double check because I don't know the birds all that well down here, all of them. I got my best looks finally of a red-legged honeycreeper in the orchard, and a few of the horses that are here are just wandering around, so that was nice. One of them came up and, greeted me, so just part of nature.
After my first 2 days of birding on my own, I had 52 identifiable species on camera, of which 28 were new lifers. Now, I could have set up a guided birding tour at Sleeping Giant, but decided that visiting some nearby places would give us a change of scenery and perhaps a chance for some new birds. Will this help me to find my number one target bird, the northern emerald toucanet, which had occasionally been reported at Sleeping Giant, but was much more frequently reported at two nearby locations. One of those was Ian Anderson's Caves Branch Jungle Lodge, and the other was Toucan Ridge Ecology and Education Society, or TREES for short. I figured I'd have a much better chance with a guide at one of those places than I would of having to find the bird on my own. But there are no guarantees in birding. So I had booked a tour at Caves Branch for Tuesday morning. I was excited to see what birds I might see there with the help of a guide. After another great meal at the Grove House restaurant, the farm-to-table eatery that won the Belize Restaurant of the Year in both 2018 and 2019, it was time to rest up for the next day's birding tour. So be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification button for part 2 of Birding in Belize. Until next time, thanks for watching, and as always, happy birding!